Hi guys, welcome back to the session. This is the very first introductory session of our new minor project, which we're gonna build. The name of the our minor of our new minor project is Sudoku Solver. The name of our new minor project is Sudoku Solver. So it is very much clear by its name that we're gonna build a new game, a new minor project, and the game is gonna be Sudoku Solver. Of course, we must have solved the Sudoku puzzles in somewhere in our age so far, right? Mostly in the childhood, we used to solve the Sudoku puzzles, which used to be there in the newspaper and all. So that was again a very interesting game, and so just to relive that those moments and to relive that memory, we just gonna build it this Sudoku solver today in this minor project series, right? So for this introductory session, we're gonna discuss what all features are gonna be there in our Sudoku solver and how it's gonna look like, and we also have a small live demo session, uh, a small live demo in this particular session only. And yes, in the upcoming sessions, we will build it. We will do it together, and hope you will have a good learning. Hope you will enjoy building this game Sudoku solver, right? So yeah, let's jump into the session. First, let's have a quick live demo of our project Sudoku solver. I hope my screen is visible to everyone. So this is our game, Sudoku puzzle game is gonna look like. Of course, it will have 9 grids, and in each grid they will have 9 boxes wherein I can fill up the digits. And here I have given the digits which I can fill up from 1 to 9, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Let's say I select any of the digit. Let's say I selected 3. After selecting the digit, I'll click on any of the grid, the 3 will be filled in that particular grid only. And by default, 1 will be selected when you will execute the project, so 1 will be selected. So anyway, you can fill that up. Okay. Here now I have few options. It says reset. If I'll click on this, it will say confirm if you want to reset the game. I'll click on yes, and it will get back to the original. Uh, get back to the original grid which it was when I executed the project, right? It has an exit button which says confirm if you want to exit, of course, and the solution button will fill up the grids with the solution which is expected. Now if I'll click on again reset, so it gives me the blank Sudoku again. Let's say filled up these digits here somewhere. If I'll click on the check moves, so it will check the moves whether I have filled this 4 correctly or not, and it will highlight it with red if it is wrong, and it will highlight with of course green if it is right. Okay, let's say let's reset it. Let's click on the solution. Okay, when I clicked on the solution, 4 is here, so let's fill the 4 here. Okay, let's click on check moves. So it must do something, right? It didn't highlight anything, that means it was correct. Okay, so yeah, this is how it works. Okay, so I hope you all got an idea of how it's gonna work. Take care of how it's gonna work, and yeah, we will build this project from the scratch, from the very starting, and yes, it is gonna be very exciting series of sessions. So yeah, let's see. We're gonna firstly have our reset button, which will empty the whole grids. Okay, which will empty the whole grids. Okay, and we're gonna have an exit button which will of course close the execution, which will again close the execution. And we're gonna have the solution button which will fill the grid with expected solutions. And we're gonna have a check move button which will check whether the move or whether the digit I filled was correct or not. You just observed in case of invalid or in case of wrong move, it was highlighting it with the red color, and in case of correct move, it was not highlighting with any of the color. So we can make sure to highlight it with green color or something, right? So we can of course change it according to our needs, according to our functionality in whatever way we want it to be, right? So this is how the Sudoku solver game is gonna look like. This is how it's gonna look like, and this is how we gonna carry the things up in our J frames, right? So of course you can see that we have nine columns here, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, and of course we have nine rows here. So it's going to be a combination of 9 cross 9 2D matrix. Okay, 9 cross 9 2D matrix, which will have 9 rows and 9 columns, and accordingly each of them is a button. Okay, the grid which you can see here is a button. Why I need a button here? Because on the click of this grid I want some execution, right? I want some execution. So of course I can set the functionality. I can set the functionality that, bro, when I click on any of this, it must get filled up with any of the digit, and of course according to what I have selected here, it will be filled up. Like according to whatever digit I have selected here, it will be filled, right? So yeah, I want buttons here, not the simple text labels. That is first thing which I want to confirm here. Okay, and of course these are going to be again buttons. Because why? Because I want them to be selected on the click, right? And when I select them, uh, accordingly I have to fill it inside these grids, right? So I hope you get an idea here also that we need the buttons here also. And of course these are going to be the buttons anyways, you know. So yeah, no doubt in it. So yeah, this is just a brief this is just a brief explanation of how it's gonna be, you know, what are gonna be the features and how we're gonna do that. So this is all just a quick explanation of whatever we are going to do in this particular minor project. Okay, so I hope it was pretty much clear to you guys, the Sudoku solver. Okay, now quickly let's discuss about. Okay, for the styling of the project, let's discuss this in the next session. Okay, in this section we were just concerned about how the project looks like and how what all functionalities we're gonna bring into our project to make it good, to make it worth using, to make it attractive, and to make it look like a complete minor project, right? This was the motive of this particular session, and I hope you got an idea, you got an exposure of how a project is gonna look like. Let's catch up in the next video with the styling of the project, that how we're gonna style this project, how it's gonna look like this, which we have seen right now. And yeah, what all technologies we're gonna use, let's discuss this in the next session. In this session we are going to specifically discuss about the styling of the project and the technologies we're gonna use to build this project. First of all, no doubt, we're gonna use Java language as the primary language. That means the whole coding will be done with the help of the Java language. Of course, we are focusing on this particular language only for our minor projects, right? So yeah, Java language is going to be the first and foremost requirement to build this project, and then we're gonna use Java Swing. I hope you guys have a very good idea up till now about the Java Swing, since we have done a lot of minor projects in which we have used Java Swing. And in Java Swing, we're going to use JFrames. Okay, so this is going to be the basic tech stack which we're gonna use to build this project, specifically the Java language, and for building our GUI application, we're gonna use Java Swing as the first and foremost thing which is into this particular domain of building GUI application, is that is the Java Swing. Okay, now let's discuss few things in detail about each of the components. First of all, let's discuss about Java Swing, since you know already about it, and for some of you guys it may be new also. Okay, so yeah, let's discuss about Java Swing. Now, what is Java Swing? First of all, Java Swing is basically a part of JFC. Okay, Java Swing is basically a part of JFC. Now, what is JFC? JFC stands for Java फाउंडेशन, ठीक है, जावा फाउंडेशन क्लासेस, ठीक है. नाउ व्हाट is Java Swing? It is a part of JFC. That is very good. Now, what are these Java Foundation classes and what this Java Swing is? Okay, so these are used to create window based applications. These JFCs and specifically this Java Swing which we are using, it is used to create window based applications. Okay, of course, it is built on top of AWT. Now, what is AWT? AWT is Abstract Windowing Toolkit. Okay, and definitely this Java Swing is entirely written in Java, no doubt. Entirely written in Java. Now, why we are using Java and why we are not using JWT? Because Java Swing is definitely used to build lightweight GUI applications. Java Swing is basically used, is definitely used to build lightweight GUI applications. Now, of course, Java Swings come with a lot of package which provide classes for Java Swing, let's say, such as JButton, JText fields, JLabels, JText areas, JCheckbox, JMenu, and a lot of components are there in Java Swing which are present, which help us to build that particular GUI according to our demands, according to our needs, whatever we want in that GUI. Let's say here our demands are to just use buttons. Okay, so we have this present with Java Swing. Then you can see these borders, we can do that styling. You can see these different colors, we can do that styling. You can see that whatever button I have selected, it is only blue. Other than that, all the colors are black. We can do that styling. Okay, so we can do a lot of things. You can see labels and yeah, um, specifically buttons with background color. So we have a lot of styling components present, of course. How? With the help of Java Swing, because Java Swing provides, uh, the Java Swing package provides different, components, okay, which we can use while building our GUI application. Okay, so this is just a small introduction about Java Swing. Okay, I hope you got an idea about Java Swing, why we are using it in our project. Okay, and yeah, let's move mm, towards let's move towards JFrame. Now, what is JFrame? Now, definitely we have an idea about what is Java Swing. Now, let's discuss about JFrame. Okay, JFrame is a top level container. It is a container. Okay, JFrame is a top level container that does what? That provides provides a window on the screen. You can see this window on the screen. Definitely everyone can see that this window is provided by JFrame only. This window is provided by JFrame only. The JFrame helps us to provide a area. It helps us to provide a playground wherein we can put up our components, wherein we can design a lot of things, and whenever that project gets executed, whenever that project gets built, that particular window will come up as an output of that particular execution of that particular build. That will be a build result. Whenever the build gets success, that particular window will pop up as an output, as an execution result, right? So this is the main role of JFrame. Okay, so JFrame, you can also call JFrame as a base window. Okay, JFrame can be also called as a base window on which other components rely, on which other components rely, right? And definitely those components are menu bars, panels, labels, text fields, button, etc. Okay, and almost every other showing applications starts with the JFrame window only, right? Since I told you that this JFrame window is the one which is the base window on which all the components are put and all the components are aligned and all the components are designed accordingly. So definitely this is like the only, you know, like only thing with which the every swing application starts with, right? So this is about the JFrame. I hope you got an idea about Java Swing, JFrame, and what all technologies we are using to build this project. So definitely everything so far is clear to you guys. Now we will directly jump to the styling part, because of course, first of all, the styling is very important in this project, as you must have seen. Styling, and along with styling, of course, the coding. So we will first focus on styling. We will first build this simple layout, simple UI, and then we will, jump to the I would say jump to the coding part. Okay. So first and foremost, focus will be on building the this layout, building this GUI, and after that we will do the entire coding. Right. So this is how the flow is going to look like. I hope this video is pretty much clear to you guys, and of course the motive of the next few sessions which we're gonna have. So yeah, in this session we are going to mainly focus on building the UI, designing the UI, whatever you want to call, building the UI, designing the UI of our Sudoku solver. I have already shown you how our project is, how our Sudoku solver is gonna look like. So, according to that, keeping that thing in mind, let's build our Sudoku solver. Let's see how we're gonna build that, and let's see how it looks like after giving it the basic UI, the basic layout, how it actually looks like. So yeah, without any further wait, let's start. Let's start by creating a new project. We're gonna use Java with Maven, of course. We're gonna use the name. We're gonna name it as Sudoku Solver. Okay, this is how we're gonna name it up. Let's let it write the POM file, and we have the Sudoku Solver. We have the source package. Inside the source package, it has already created a Java class which you don't need. Let's delete it. Let's create a JFrame form. Sudoku file. Okay, this is the main JFrame form where all our designing is gonna, where all our designing part is gonna come up. Okay, and this is our JFrame which we discussed already, in the previous video. Okay, so definitely we first need to give the size of the JFrame. What should be the size, and according to that size, we will give, add the elements here. Okay, so currently we can give the size as 500 comma 600 620, I guess. Let's say 630. Okay, so this is our JFrame window, and where all the components will be added. Okay, and yeah, this is about the JFrame. Now, of course, we have, 9 grids here, as I've shown you already. So we need to, give 9 grids here in this particular single JFrame. Okay, so for every grid I'll use a panel. Okay, for every grid I'll use a panel. I'll resize the panel. Okay, I'll resize the panel. The size of the panel can be 146 comma 149. Okay, so this is how the size of the panel is gonna look like. Size of the panel. Okay, so this is the Sudoku solver. This is the size of the panel. Okay, now we can copy this panel, and we can paste it at adjacent places. I guess no. Okay, I guess that is also good. And yeah, let's place the rest of the panels. While dealing with panels, it gives you, suggestion. Okay, it gives you suggestion of the see, it gives you suggestion of how it is far from the adjacent panel and how you can place it up. It is giving you a line. That means it will be, within the the top border will be aligned basically, no? So that's why it is giving me a suggestion. Now here it gave me a suggestion, so I'll move it upwards. 146, 149. Let me do one thing quickly. Let me go to properties. Okay, I guess I clicked on something else. Let's go to properties. Let's select on no borders. Let's give a line border. Okay. So for every rectangle, for every grid, I gave a line border. Okay. So that is indeed a better, you know, thing to observe the grids properly. This is the line. Okay. And ठीक है. I guess this is how the grids are looking and looking good so far, I guess. Okay. And in each of these grids will have buttons. Okay. Will have buttons. Now, of course, we need to size the buttons also according to the size of the grid. Okay. And if we click on duplicate, the very limit J button to. Okay, great. So we need a duplicate buttons. Let's duplicate it also. Okay. We need to give a lot of buttons. Okay. So yes, we have to do it, and this is the need. So definitely there is no any other option. Let me do one thing. Let me add up all the buttons and then I'll see you. Okay, that is a good thing. I guess we can do that. We can skip the button addition part, right? I'll come back after adding all the 81 buttons. Okay. Okay. So I have done majority of the styling here. See, actually, what I did is I dragged and dropped a panel. I filled it with 9 buttons and I duplicated the panel 9 times. So I got 9 panels with 9 buttons in each panel. Okay. What I wanted is I wanted these buttons, the naming of these buttons to be in sync in the in column wise order. Let's say this is this is J button one. Okay. So I want this to be, this is J button two. Okay, this is J button 3. I wanted this to be J button 4. Okay, but this is J button 10 since J button 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So now the naming convention goes in this way. Okay, so this must be 19. Okay, this must be 19, something like this. Okay, this is 37. Okay, so I guess it went like this 9, 18, 27. Okay, uh, I guess in this way or whatever way it is, we just have to conclude that also. This is a tedious task to conclude. Okay, this is 17. Okay, I don't know how it is going on, but yeah, hopefully we will try to figure it out. No issues. J button 5, J button 6. Anyway, we're gonna change the name of the every variable name to the significant names. Okay, so anyway, we had to change it. Now definitely we have to change it. Now there is no option. Okay, so no issues, like no problem, we will do that, of course. Okay. So yes, and I added these 9 buttons also, and I changed in the properties, I changed the background as black and foreground as white, because that the text wants to be, I want the text to be in white color, and I want the background in black color. Of course, you must have seen that when I select any of the button, it turns out to be blue. Okay. And by default, one will be the blue whenever the execution starts. Okay. So of course, that we will take care of in the code. Okay. Now I just kept all the buttons as black only. Okay. So let's add last 4 buttons here, which I want. This is a reset button. This must be an exit button. Okay. This is a solution button. And this is going to be check moves button. Check moves. Seems fine. We can change the background color for every button. Let's give this as background color for this. For the exit buttons, let's set the background as red or something. For the solution, let's check. Let's change the background color to green. For check moves, let's keep the background color something as yellow. Okay, so this is how our project currently looks like. What I'll do further is, let me do it in front of you. I just want some boxes to be pre-filled, right? So I'll fill them, and I'll change the color of the box which are pre-filled as purple. Okay, I'll fill this here, and this will also be filled. So 4, 7, 6 in first grade, and 5, 5, 7, 5, 7, 8, 8. What we could have done, but yeah, of course, that is not fixed. So think let it be like this only. So I'm just showing it to you guys for few buttons. Rest of the buttons I'll do. Okay, and this is how I'll fill the buttons. So I'll add the values to some of the buttons in every grid, and I'll give the background color as purple. Also, say first second thing, I'll change the variable name of every button to more meaningful names. Okay, this is J button one currently, so I'll change the name of it as R1 C1 row one column one. This will be R1C2. Okay, and accordingly, if I'll click on this, the names will be changed also here also. Okay, the names will be accordingly changed here also. R1C3, R1C3, R1C4. Okay, R1C4. So it will go up to R1C9, then R2C1, R2C3, R2C4, and R9C9. Okay, so this is how I'll name the buttons, and I'll name these buttons also. I'll change the name of these buttons also, and these buttons also. So currently I'm just changing the buttons of the buttons which are present inside grids up till here. You guys have to also change it. I'm not showing it in the video since it will be a very long procedure. I have shown it for few buttons, and accordingly you guys can also change the name of the buttons in your grids also. Okay, so that's it for this video. Let me show you by running this file also. Okay, so it's running for the first time, so it is downloading the things. Let's wait for the download to get completed. So yeah, here it is. It is showing blank. It is showing dot dot dot. I guess for this I need to change. I need to resize. I guess I need to resize the buttons or something so that it will be visible. And also the purple color is not so good. It is not dark. So I'll make the purple color more dark, and I guess I need to increase the size of the buttons a bit more so that they are easily visible. Okay, let's try it with this size. I have increased the size of 7. Let's see. The first time execution takes time. Other than that, it works. It gets executed in seconds. है ना? Okay, it is not working. Okay, so this dot 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 is appearing because the size of the button is very less. So what we'll do is we will increase the size of the button inside the grids also. Okay, I'll tell you the accurate size so that it will be visible to you. Rest of the things are working fine. What do I mean by rest of the things? Let me show you. Let me show it to you. The rest of the things, I mean, this reset button, exit solution, check moves, they are all appearing correctly. But that is not appearing correctly because the size of the button seems very small. I'll change the size of the button definitely. Okay, and then I'll try to run it in front of you, and then it will definitely work fine. And I'll tell you the accurate size which I've used. Okay, so yeah, that's it for this video. I don't want to drag it because it is the designing part only, and you guys can do it by your own also definitely. Okay, in the starting of the next video, I'll tell you what all changes I have made. Only I'll change. I'll make those changes which I have discussed yet till now. I'll resize the size of the. I'll resize the buttons, and I'll name the buttons according to their positions R1 C1 up till R9 C9. Okay, and I'll change the background color to more a dark purple color so that it appears perfect. And yeah, that's only that these are the only things I'll do. Okay, so yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you in the next session. Just try to complete the layout up till now which we have discussed, and yeah, we'll continue from here only in the next video. So don't worry, nothing will be missed from my side, definitely. In this session, we are going to focus upon the coding part for our Sudoku solver. Okay, as you can see, I have completed the Sudoku. This is how our Sudoku is gonna look like, and these are all the 9 buttons which we discussed, and these are the 4 functionality buttons, and these are the grids. Okay, inside grids we have 9 buttons in every single grid. I have named them accordingly: R1 C1, R2 C2, RC33, whatever accordingly, right? You can see every naming convention is in sync now. I have named them these 9 buttons as selection button 1, selection button 2, because here we are selecting what text, what number we have to put in into our grids. Okay, and I have set the name of these buttons as reset button, exit button, okay, solution button, and the check moves button. Okay, this is how I have changed the name of these buttons. Also, I have set the size to 40. Okay, last video, as you must have seen that the text was not properly clear and it was coming dot dot dots because the size was very small. So I've changed the size to 40 40. Now it seems like a square too, so it is looking good in terms of layout. Okay, so this is how the layout is looking like. I hope you will make the same layout. And yeah, let's jump to the coding part now. Here I have made a 2D array, string 2D array, which is storing the whole Sudoku solver values, okay, which is storing the every single value which the Sudoku has, whether it is being displayed here or not. Irrespective of that, it is storing every single value. Why? Because we may need to compare it somewhere. Okay, in check moves button, we will be comparing the values with the original values, right, which should be present. Okay, so in 298, this is like a first row, 2985167734. So it is similar to this 2985, and what is after 85? 16734. So 16734. So this is how this is like the values in first row will be here in this specific first row of the grid. So everything is in sync right now. Okay, so I hope I have made a few things clear. Now, also, what this turn variable will do, this turn variable will store the value of the selection button, whatever button we will press. Let's say I pressed button 2. So on the click of this button, on the click of the selection button 2, I'll change the value of this turn variable as 2. And whenever I'll and whatever grid I'll click, I'll set the value inside that grid has the value which this particular turn variable is holding up. Okay, let's say I clicked on button 2, so this the value of turn variable will now become 2. And let's say I clicked on this particular grid, that means I want to put the value 2 inside this grid. So I will set the value of this turn variable inside this particular grid. Okay, that's what we are going to do. We In this specific video, we're going to write the functionalities of these 81 buttons. Okay, in these 81 buttons inside grids. In the next video, we will write the functionality of these selection buttons, and then the last video will write the functionality of these 4 buttons. Okay, this is how the videos are gonna be like. Okay, so first of all, let's start with this. I made a turn variable, and I made this global flag. It will be useful in upcoming functions. Okay, not right now. So let's start with with writing the functionalities of these buttons. Okay, so I've double clicked on it, and this is the button for which I have to write the functionality. Okay, since the button is empty, so I'll put the value whatever is inside my turn variable. Whatever value is there inside my turn variable, I'll simply put that value here. Okay, r1c1 dot set text turn. Okay, this turn will be this variable. Okay, and after assigning the value, I'll set the background as r1c1 dot set background to white. Okay, you can set it according to your needs, according to your wish. You can do that. Okay, so it is showing me an error. Of course it will show me an error. Now the error is not no more. Okay, so here, if I double click on this, this is saying r1c2.setText. See, I have written for few buttons because, of course, it is not possible to write for the 81 buttons in this is small video. Okay, now let's talk about the buttons who are already filled. Okay, who are already filled up. Okay, so what will happen in this case? I'll open this I'll write this. I've written this J option pane dot show message dialog. Okay, what this show message dialog box does, it opens a dialog box. Okay, it opens up a warning box which contains a message. Okay, what will be that message? This message will be this place is already allocated, and the title will be message. Okay, and it will say J option pane information message. Okay, so we are trying to show an information to the user, and the title of that box will be message, and that message will say this place is already allocated. I'll try to show it to you. Okay, in a second. And that here you can change the title according to your demand, and here you can change the message according to your demand. So this is like a predefined thing, J option pane dot show message dialog, and here we can show anything in term of uh, in terms of a box which shows any information or which shows any error. It all depends upon the condition. Okay, in which condition we are currently. So I've written the code for every button. Hopefully every button has been, well, I've written the code for every button. Hopefully, why I'm saying hopefully, because I had just erased few of them to show it to you, because it is again, see, these are few buttons for which I've not written. Okay, so let me write it down quickly for you. I'll do nothing. I'll just copy paste the things. Take a R4 C4. So what I'll do is I'll change these values to R4 C4 dot set text, and same I'll copy paste here. Okay, R4 C4, right? R4 C5, R4 C5. Okay, R4 C6, Okay, let me complete this in front of you so that you know. I guess the rest of the buttons have the code with them. Let me check for this. R5C4. R5C5. No, I have written wrong set of code here because this place is already filled up. So I'll replace it with this. Simple. Okay. So see how simple it is. You just have to check whether it is already whether the value here already is already pre-filled or not, and then you have to just paste the message accordingly. Okay. Whatever message is there, whatever is the situation, just paste the message accordingly. Okay. So I hope the things are pretty much clear to you that how you have to code. Of course, I'll not do it for every single button here because it is not possible. It will extend the duration of the video. Uh, okay. So yeah, those buttons who are missing, I'll put the code in here for you guys. Okay. So whenever we try to run it, it runs with full functionality. The functionality works properly. Okay. Every single functionality should work. Okay. So I hope you got the crux, you got the idea of this video, that why we did it, because on the click of every when we click on any of the grid, any of the box inside the grid, so that text should come up. Okay. Now I'll try to run and I'll try to show what I'm actually trying to do. Okay. Why I'm not replacing the background color when I'm putting the text, also why I'm not replacing it with with purple color, because I just want it to be different. Okay, let's I see the values are getting filled, right? And it will not be filled for those buttons who don't have the functionality. Okay, I'll click on this place is already allocated. This was the error message. This is the title which we gave to that box. See, this is how the box look like, right? So almost for every button, I think the functionality is there. Okay, that's great. I guess. See, on the click of these buttons, the values are getting filled here. Okay, that means what? That means the code is written wrong. है ना? So I have to correct this. I have to correct this. Okay, and for these buttons, the button functionalities are not written. Okay, rest of everything is seems fine. Let me quickly check so that I'll also get an idea. So everything is good, but these few buttons. Okay, for these few buttons, it is not coming as per the expectation. Okay, so I'll check why it is not going as per the expectation, and accordingly uh, we can change it here. You can also see the 5 is present here but it's not visible here. Okay, and it is saying the place is already allocated but it replaced the value, so there is some problem in this row specifically. So I'll check what is the problem. Of course, the problem is not something. Let's say I'll come here. Okay, on the 5 it says that it should this place is already allocated, this and that. Okay, R4C9, that's great. Okay, let me check for this also what is happening here. R5C5, R5C5, it is also good. Okay, so I have to change the functionality somewhere. The variable name is R4C10, and if I'll double click on this, it is putting the value in C7. Okay, so this is the problem, right? So these are few problems which I have done. These are few mistakes which I have done, of course. Why? Because I had to write the code for 81 buttons, so it got misplaced for some buttons. Okay, so of course I'll fix this, and it will be all fine. No need to worry about this. This is expected as of now because I have given the wrong button names, for filling up the values. Now you will see. Let it open up. 3 5. See, on the click of 5, now 5 is visible. 3 is 3 is also visible, and I cannot replace the value. On the click of this button, it will only get one will get only filled here. Okay. So I hope now you got an idea that how the things are working, how we're gonna fill the values inside the grid. Also, on the click of any of the button, let's say on the click of the two, I will I'll override the value of turn variable. I'll override the value of this turn variable by 2, and after clicking 2, if I click any of the grid, so the value here instead of 1 will come up as 2. Okay, a very simple flow. And also one question, you guys must be thinking that why I've replaced the background color with white. So that after filling up the whole Sudoku, you can realize that what all values you have filled and what all values were present already, were pre-filled, right? So just to differentiate that, I've replaced the background color with with white while filling up the values. Okay, great. So I hope this much part is clear to you guys. I am expecting after finishing up this video, you are gonna complete these 81 buttons code. Okay, you're gonna complete the code for these 81 buttons so that every single button works as per the expectation. The next video we will come to these selection buttons, and then accordingly we will move further. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this seems interesting to you guys. In this session we are specifically going to focus upon the code, upon the functionality, upon writing the functionality of these selection buttons. Okay, of course, each selection button will of course change the value of turn variable which we have declared globally. And what else will happen, let's discover in this particular video. So I'll double click on this, and of course the selection button 1, on the click of the selection button 1, I want the turn variable to hold the value 1. But of course I want something else. What I want the color of this button of 1 is of course by default purple, or blue, whatever it is. And on the click of 2, 3, 4, or any of the button, I want its color to get changed. I want its color to get changed. Okay, so this is the main crux here, that I want the colors to get changed, and according to the colors I'm gonna do what I'm gonna judge that what particular button is selected as of now. Okay, so to ensure our second functionality of changing the color, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna quickly create a function. Okay, I'm gonna quickly create a function, private void assign turn. Okay, this assign turn button is gonna accept a param. Okay, j button, a param of button type. Okay, what I'm trying to do is, let's say I clicked this button which is saying value 3. Okay, on the click of this button, I'll trigger this function, and I'll pass the j button type param, which will be the name of that particular button which is clicked. In this case, the variable name is selection button 3. So I'll pass selection button 3 in the params. This function will get triggered, and it will assign the colors of all the button as black except the one which is received in the param, and I'll assign the color of that particular button as blue. A very simple approach. Let's try to execute this. Selection button 1 dot set background as what, black. Okay, a very simple approach. I'll set the color of every single button as black in starting, of course. Okay, then after setting every single color as black, I'll set the color of the button which is received in params as blue. So we are gonna do what, we are gonna solve, we are definitely, it's definitely gonna solve our purpose. Okay, selection 6, selection 7, selection 8, and the last button is selection 9. So I set the background color of every single button is black. Now the button which we have received in param is btn. Okay, so I'll set the color of this btn as background as blue. A very simple approach, a very, indeed a very simple, a very sweet approach of changing the colors. Okay, now since the color changing thing is all done, so we can write the functionalities of every single button, and every single button will follow this function first, and then we will change the value of turn variable accordingly. Okay, so we will call assign turn function. Here we will pass selection button 1 in this. Okay, I'll put semicolon. So this function will be first triggered and then it will change the value of turn variable to what? Coach 1. Right. So this is gonna come up in every single selection button, and of course I'm gonna show you how it looks like. And we also gonna see that it is the values are really getting replaced, you know, in the grids or not. Okay. I'm gonna change it in all the 9 buttons. Selection button 3 here, 3 in the turn, 4 here, and 4 in the button, 5 here, 5 in the button. Okay, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I have changed the functionality of every single button. Now let's try to run this. Let's see how it looks. Hopefully everything will be sorted. I've still not changed the buttons of these 3 rows of this specific row, right? Which we discussed in the last video. See, on the click of any of the button, it is getting replaced with the purple button, which indicates that this particular button is selected. Now, if I select 3, I can put the value 3, I can put the value 1, I can put every single value. That's how I can fill up my Sudoku according to the a value which I want to fill it with. Okay. So yeah, this seems fine. This seems very good. Uh, Great. I think everything is clear here in this particular video. And this is how we have written the functionality of the selection button. And in the next video, we'll write the functionalities of these 4 buttons in the bottom. And yeah, accordingly, we'll see how it looks, how we're going to do that. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed this video too. And in the next video, we'll cover up the functions. Okay. We'll cover up these 4 buttons, the functionalities of these 4 buttons, and we'll conclude this particular minor project session then. Okay. In this session, we are going to take care of writing down the functionalities of these 2 buttons, and these are reset button and exit button. Okay. Upon the click of exit button, of course, we first will show a warning message that whether you want to exit your execution or not. So we'll give you 2 options, yes or no. And upon the click of yes, of course, we're gonna exit the program. We're gonna stop the execution, and the JFrame window will be closed. Okay. Upon the click of reset button, of course, will show a warning box. This warning box will be basically done with the help of J option pane, similar to what we did in the last video, right? Very similar to that. Okay. And upon the click of yes button, what we will do is reset button. By reset button, what I mean is these these grids which are already filled, they'll be left untouched, of course. And those grids which are not pre-filled, of course we will have a check on those grids only which are not pre-filled, right? Those grids which are not pre-filled, of course I'll replace those pre-filled grids with a blank text, right? So that is what this is the only approach which I'm gonna use to solve this easy functionality of doing the of while clicking upon the reset button, a very simple functionality, right? So let's jump into the coding part. Upon the click of reset button, of course, I want an execution of a function, and I have this function here reset game. Okay, I have declared this function reset game, and I'm gonna call this function on the click of the reset button. Okay, now here I have defined two arrays already. Okay, this buttons array is basically storing the names of those 81 buttons. Those 81 buttons, it is storing that. Okay, and this predefined buttons array, single 1D array, is basically storing the names of all those buttons who are predefined. R2C1, R2C1. This must be R2C1, R2C1, right? So those values, those grids who are already having some values, their names are stored inside this predefined buttons 1D array, and the whole 81 buttons names are stored in this inside this buttons array. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna do something what I just explained, right? So I'm gonna deploy a loop. Okay, I'm gonna deploy a single for loop. Int I equals to int I equals to 0, I is less than n. Okay, and I plus plus. Okay, now inside we have 9 grids in total, and inside every single grid we have again 9 buttons, or I would say 9 boxes, wherein we can put the value. So in j equals to 0, j is again less than 9, and j plus plus. So deploying these nested for loops again. Okay, and now I need a what I need boolean, I would say boolean flag variable here. Okay, this flag variable which I've declared here is a global flag. Here I'm just declaring a local flag variable which is gonna help me in identifying, keeping a track whether that value, whether that grid at which we are currently is predefined or not. Okay, so I'm gonna deploy again a for loop which is gonna iterate over the predefined predefined buttons dot length, which is gonna iterate over the predefined buttons 1D array. Okay, predefined buttons dot length and k plus plus. Okay, this seems very good. What we through these nested loop, we are iterating over every single box inside these whole 9 grids. Okay, now we'll be having the value of these grids. Okay, using these indexes I'll be having the values of what value that particular grid is storing. Now I want to check whether that grid which I am currently is under predefined buttons or not. Okay, then of course we will move further. So what I'm gonna do is, if buttons of ij. Okay, this buttons is of course the array through which I will iterate, the 2D array through which I will iterate with the help of these ij indexes. And if buttons of ij equal predefined equal predefined buttons of what k, then I'll mark the flag as false. That means we don't have to touch it. Okay, because these buttons of ij will start from r1c1, r1c2, r1c3. We are only gonna skip those buttons which are present inside the predefined buttons. So I have, for let's say I am currently at r1c1, and r1c1 is not present in r2c1 in this predefined buttons. Okay, so I will keep the I will not go inside this if condition, and I'll keep the flag true for this particular button r1c1. Okay, now after this for loop, the flag is still true for R1C1. I'm just taking an example of R1C1 right now. Okay, so I'll check if flag equal true. Okay, if flag equal true, then of course what we're gonna do is buttons of ij, what buttons of ij dot set text a blank quote. Okay, I'm sorry, button of ij dot set text equals to, like I have set the blank quotes, I have set the blank string inside that particular button r1c1 right now. Okay, of course, this is not under predefined button, so we are gonna set it to the empty string since we are clicking on the reset button. So I want an empty string over uh, the value which was earlier present. Okay, a very simple, you know buttons of ij to dot set background We are gonna again set the background color to uh, black, and buttons of I dot. I guess missed something here. It should be not set background. It should be foreground. That by foreground we mean the text color. Okay, and by background we mean the, because the text color is black and the background is white. Right. This is how it's gonna work. Okay. So again, giving a quick iteration here. Let's say we in this particular for loop we came across a button, through these for loop we came across a buttons of ij. In button of ij, the first button is r1 c1. It is holding the value r1 c1. Now we'll check in predefined buttons array. Okay, predefined buttons k. So this predefined buttons k will iterate over the whole predefined buttons array, and it will check whether this value r1 c1 is present inside it or not. So if r1 c1 is not present, so the flag is initially defined as true. So of course, if it is not present, so we are gonna keep the flag as true only. Okay. Now after this predefined buttons check, we check if flag equal true. Does the value of flag is still true? If yes, then we're gonna replace it with the blank string. That's it. That's it. A very simple, a very simple logic, a very simple execution. Right. That's how we're gonna do the reset button. Now let's come to the button from here. I told you that we're gonna show a warning box first, okay, with the help of J option page. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna declare a new JFrame here, okay, equals to new JFrame. Okay. Uh, what it's gonna do? It says reset. Okay, a very simple JFrame which says reset. Title says reset. Okay. I'll check if J option pane dot show confirm dialog. Okay, here we're gonna use confirm dialog because we want a confirmation. We want to show an error message. Okay, and we're gonna show this confirm dialog with the help of this frame which we just declared. Okay, which we just declared. Okay, so let me make the J capital. Okay, show confirm dialog. Okay, frame is going to be the parent component. Okay, we're gonna show the text confirm if you want to reset the game. Okay, I'll say confirm if you want to reset the game. Fine. A very simple, crystal clear message. Okay. Now, if let's say they click, what options we can provide? We can provide either options as true or false. Okay. So I can give the title also, Sudoku puzzle. Okay, Sudoku puzzle game is the title, and then I'll say J option pane dot yes no option. Right. This can be helpful for us. Yes no option. Okay. Okay. This yes no option equal. Okay. Now what we are doing is I'll try to explain you in a minute. I'll try to explain. Okay. It says show confirm dialog. I've put the semicolon here. J option pane. ठीक है. Dot show. I'm using frame parent component. Confirm if you want to reset the game. ठीक है. Okay. I thought, yeah, this was the extra bracket which I used. ठीक है. So ठीक है. If anything, if this if condition gets true, then we're gonna call the reset game function. A very simple thing. Now I'll explain what is happening here. I'll show you also. First, let me explain a bit. Okay, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to open a new JFrame form, and which I've just created right now in the form of confirm dialog box. Okay, in the form of confirm dialog. Confirm dialog box does what? It tries to take the confirmation, and according to the confirmation, it performs some action. Okay, so what I did, I opened a frame in the form of confirm dialog box, and I showed this message that confirm if you want to reset the game. The title of the frame will be Sudoku puzzle, and I gave the options yes no option. Okay, and here I am just checking if this yes no option gives me a value true or not. Okay, equal condition. Okay, if it is equal this yes no option, then only I'll reset the game, otherwise I'll not. Okay, that means if the user clicks on yes, then only we're gonna reset the game. Okay, now I'll try to show it to you what I actually mean. Okay, upon the click of yes, we want the game to reset, but upon the click of no, we don't want the reset, right? So let's say I filled. See, it is showing me an option confirm if you want to reset the game. On the click of no, it's not gonna do that because the condition didn't match here. Okay, the condition will only get true. The if condition will only get true when I'll click on yes. See, it did the whole reset, right? So that's how this works, and that's how this reset button is also working. Fine, I hope everything is clear so far, and we are again making it back to the background color white, and with the foreground color black, because the foreground colors always should be black, because we are filling the text with black colors. 5, 6, 9, it is all in black, right? So this is how the reset button is working. I hope everyone got an idea. I hope everyone got a clear cut idea that how this reset button is working. Right. So let us quickly write the exit button here also. Take a for exit button also, we're gonna do it in the same way. The frame equals to new frame with the value exit. Okay. If j option pane, here again we can show a confirm dialog box. Show confirm dialog. Okay, confirm dialog in the with the help of frame, and confirm if you want to exit. Okay, let's say we first wait for the confirmation if the user really wants to exit. Okay, okay, confirm if you really want to exit. It should also come up here. Let me put it in this. Okay. Okay, let's wait for the confirmation, and let's put the title exit button or Sudoku. What we put here, Sudoku puzzle. No? So let's keep it the same. Sudoku puzzle. Okay, Sudoku puzzle, simple, and again J option pane dot yes no option. Okay, if this yes no option becomes equal to J option pane dot yes no option. Okay, wait, let me put yes no option. If it becomes equal to that, in this case only we're gonna do what? We're gonna do something known as system dot exit. The system.exit does what? Terminates the currently running Java virtual machine. We want the termination of the execution. The argument serves as a status code. By convention, a non-zero status code indicates abnormal termination. Okay. So of course we should get the status code as zero. Right. So status code should be zero in this case, because in they said in case of abrupt termination we get a non-zero value, but of course we are expecting a value zero here. Okay. So this is the simple execution. This is a simple code for our exit button. Let's see how the exit button works. Let's close this. First, let me reset. Let me do the reset. Yes, I want to do the reset. Exit. No. Exit. Yes. Simple. A very simple execution. A very simple code. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got a good learning. I hope everything related to this video, related to these two buttons was clear to you. And yes, we are left with only two buttons. We are left with only these two buttons, solution and check moves. This is again going to be very interesting, as these two buttons were, as the whole project is again interesting. So yes, I hope you are doing the same side by side, so that you are also getting an idea of how the code is actually working. Okay, so that's it for this session. I'll see you in the next video. I'll see you in the next session with the functionality of the remaining two buttons, and then we can conclude this project. And yeah, it's good from our side. Okay, this is going to be the last video of our Sudoku solver game, Sudoku solver minor project session. And yes, in this session, in this last session, we are gonna write the code for our last two functionalities which we are left with. That is the solution button and check moves button. So this is going to be the motive of this particular session. And after writing these buttons, our project will be over, and we'll do a final demo run of how our project looks like, and is it running according to the expectations or not. Yes. So yeah, indeed, very much excited. So let's start. First, I guess we can start with the solution button. And the solution button, we're gonna call a function. Let's create a function here after reset button. Let's create a function. We have a lot of extra lines. Indeed, this is not a good practice of development. So yes, make sure that you just refrain from giving extra spaces, unnecessary extra spaces while writing out your code outright. So yeah, that's what you can also consider while writing the code. Private void C solution. Let's say the name of function C solution. Okay, this is the name of the function. Of course, for this function also we need these two arrays with us. Why we need these two arrays? Let me tell you the flow how it's gonna look like. Let's say in the C solution function, what we are gonna do is we're gonna check if see also we have this solved board which contains the answers of which contain every single value of the grid, whether it is pre-filled in the front end or not. Okay, irrespective of that, it contains every single value, right? So yeah, we have to consider this thing also. So what I'm gonna do is, let's say this is my grid. Okay, just putting a small grid here. Okay, this is C solution button. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check whether this particular grid is pre-filled or not. Okay, if it is not pre-filled, then I'll ask from the value, or I'll put the value inside it from the solved board array, and everything is in sync. Like the indexes are in sync. So of course, when I'll put the ij indexes solved ij, so I'll get the accurate value here. Okay, I'll get the accurate value here. So this is going to be one thing. So that's what we're gonna do, and let's see how we're gonna do that. Okay, now there are two things. On the click of C solution button, I want it to let's say I clicked the C solution button and it showed me all solution. Now I want to hide those solutions. So of course I'm gonna provide the hide solution button also on the click of C solution button. Due to this same reason, I declared this global flag true. Okay, due to the same thing, so that I can toggle between the functionalities. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna check if global flag, is it the name? Yes, the global flag. Okay, I'm gonna check if global flag equal true. Okay, let's say the global flag is equal true. That means I have clicked on show solution button. So as soon as I've clicked on it, I'll set its value to false first. Okay, I'll set its value to false first, and then I'll do what I'll do what I'll yes, to the solution button. What it's, yeah, solution button. I'll set the solution button dot set text what hide solution. Now because once we have shown the solution, we also need to provide a button through which we can hide the solution. Okay, so this is how I'm taking care of. Going vice versa, if I click on show solution, it should give me hide solution afterwards. Okay, now let's implement the functionality similar to what we have done previously. For int I equals to 0, I is less than n, I plus plus. For int j equals to 0, j is less than 9j plus. Okay, I've come inside the ij indexes. Now, of course, I'll declare another flag, boolean flag equals to true. Let's give the initial value as true. Okay, now again I'll go inside k equals to 0, k is less than, k is less, not j, it should be k. K is less than predefined buttons dot length and k plus plus. Okay, I'll check if buttons of ij btns ij equal predefined of k. Okay, if it happens, then I'll do what? I'll simply say flag equals to false. Okay, and as soon as I've done the flag equals to false, I'll come outside my for loop and I'll check if flag is equal true. Okay, I'll check if flag equal true. That means that particular button, that particular index ij is not predefined, and if it is not predefined, so we're gonna replace its value. Okay, we're gonna set text, replace its value with the salt board array value for the same syntax, for the same index, right? We're gonna replace the current value with the value which is present in salt board array for the same index I and j, and that is how we can take care of it. And I'm gonna set the foreground color and the background color as we did initially. Okay, set background as white, and we're gonna in similar way set the foreground set the foreground as black. Okay, so this is the piece of code for the show solution button. Okay, let's say after the show solution I clicked on it and the global flag becomes equals to false and it shows hide solution. So of course we have to write the functionality of the second case, which is the only case possible, that is the case when global flag is equals to false. Okay, when global flag is equals to false, then I'll do what? I'll first change the text to show solution, similar to what we have written here in front end. Solution, only solution. Okay, we have not written show solution, so we'll click on, will only show, will only display the text solution. Okay, and I'll again make global flag equals to global flag equals to true, and I'll do what I'll reset the game. Okay, why I'll reset the game? Because after showing the solution, okay, after showing the solution, I want my I want my Sudoku solver to be fresh again. Take a Sudoku solver to be fresh, and so that I can start playing it. Take I can start playing it. That's it. That is my only motive, right? After seeing the solution, I want it to, but I want to play it again, right? I want to play it again. So that's why I said that if I'm clicking on hide solution, so I will reset the frame. Okay, let me try to demonstrate in front of you what I want to say. Okay, let me close it first. Okay, let's say I put 3, I put 2, 4, and this and that. So I'll click on solution. It has put in all the values. I'll click on hide solution and everything is blank, so that I can again start playing. Okay, I can again start playing. That's the only motive. Okay, I hope everything is clear now. Hide solution. Simple, pretty simple. Seems good. Seems fine. So I hope the reset, the solution button functionality is very much clear to you guys. Now let's come to the last button, that is the check moves button. Okay. Now check moves is again gonna be very much similar to what we have done so far. Okay. Of course, the functionality is different, so we will see what we're gonna do different in this check solution button. Okay. Now check solution means that I need to check whether the steps which I have performed so far, are they good or not. Are they good or not? If they are not good, if they are not correct, they are not accurate, so we will do something. Okay. Check moves. Okay. Then again, I can put in this particular 2D array only. Okay, let me put this particular 2D array first. Then again, we will deploy a simple for loop. Int I equal to 0, I is then n I plus plus for int j equal to 0, j is less than 9, j plus plus. Okay, these are the two for nested loops. Now I'll check if buttons of ij, I'll check for particular index after getting the text. Okay, for the particular index, I'll check what text I'm getting. Okay, if the text is not equals to solved board. Okay, if the text is not equals to solved board value of for the same index. Okay, let's say I'm on this R1C1 and the value of R1C1 which I'm fetching from the design, which I'm fetching from here, if the value present at R1C1 is not equals to solved board same index, that is 2. If the value is not equals to 2, and and okay, and okay, and dot get text, it should not be equals to blank 2. Okay, should not be equals to what, blank. Why I'm adding this check? Let's say I'm fetching a value and it is blank, so of course I've not put any value here, so I cannot check that whether it is correct or not, because I've not put any value, right? So there is no sense of checking that. So I've excluded that conditions also, that if it is a blank string, so it will stop, well, it will not go inside this if loop. Okay, so only if there is any value present, and if that value is not equals to the correct the expected value, right? If that value is not equals to the expected value, so we are gonna do what, we're gonna simply replace the background color with red. A very simple thing, very simple, yet a very significant thing which we can do is we can make the background color as red. Okay, now let me call this function for this particular button. Let's try to run it also. Run file. Let's see how it goes. Okay, 666 check moves. Okay, it is giving me red for these buttons too. Just because I have not, I have not. 1 second. 3 4 6. Okay. That's because I didn't correct the naming convention. Like I didn't correct the naming convention for the this particular row which we talked about. Okay, that's why it is giving it. That's why it is giving a red for this also. Okay, just ignore these because I have not corrected the naming correction. If you'll write the correct naming convention, just as we discussed in the very first video, so it will work very fine for you. Okay, just I want to show you that how it's working. Okay, on the click of solution, the solution is working. Okay, upon the click of the solution button, okay, this is also good. Okay, everything seems good, everything seems fine, right? Everything seems fine, so that's how this particular That's how this particular thing is working so far. What I just noticed is that we can also write the functionality to remove the this red this red background color. Okay, what I noticed that on the click of check moves, the it is judging whether the moves are correct or not, and accordingly it is marking them red. Okay, so I can provide just it's the same way we did in here, just the same way we did it in this solution C solution function. We can do it in the same way that we can make a flag, and if that flag is true, so I'll replace this by check moves uh, check moves to remove checks, and I'll make the background color red for those who are incorrect, and in the else, upon the click of that um, upon the click of that vice versa button, let's say from check moves we moved it to stop checks, and on the click of that stop check, everything is back to normal. Everything, the background colors are back set back to the normal white, right? So this is what we can add extra to in order to avoid the permanent red color here. Okay, so yeah, that is it. I hope you'll be able to do it, and that's it for this particular session. That's it for this particular video. I hope you enjoyed making this project, minor project, and I hope you will also make it by your own, and try to add that functionality which we discussed in very last, and I'll try to make it more interactive, make it more attractive. Since it is a very good project, it's a very good minor project. It takes a lot of things in account, so you guys can learn a lot of things here, right? So yes, I hope you enjoyed this. Also, on the click of reset, everything will work fine. But again, these buttons are not placed properly. That's why it is that's why they are coming still coming up like this. Okay, so that is the only issue. Other than that, it will work fine for you. Probably the red color will disappear ultimately. Okay, if I check for these check moves, reset. See, it is getting disappeared, right? So that will work exactly fine for you. Right now, the names are not properly placed, so it will not work. Okay, you don't have to make it a global variable or something. You can click on reset button, everything will be gone, right? So you don't have to do that. Just name the grids properly, just name the buttons properly, and that's it. That's it. That's all. Other than that, our project is extremely good, extremely working. So yeah, that's it. And thank you so much for joining. I hope you enjoyed learning this minor project, and I hope you enjoyed this these sessions as well. I'll see you in some another session. Thank you so much. Goodbye.